Hello guys and welcome back to a brand new video. Welcome to my kitchen. I don't think I've ever had you guys in the house before, so welcome. Come in and make yourself comfortable. So today's video I am bringing another unexpected repair to do on the car. I've ordered a part on Amazon Prime, and I'm going to talk you through what happened and then we're going to fix it together, because this is something we can completely do ourselves and it's another DIY job, but it is something that caused the car to go into limp mode. So if you're new around here, the car I am talking about is my beloved L322. It's a Range Rover Vogue, the 3.6 TDV8, and as much as I love it, it causes me a slight headache, but this is just another one of those little problems that we are going to fix together today. Actually, I'm going to go outside in a second and show you the problem, but ironically, it's actually done this to itself. It sort of caused itself this pain. It's a bit of a weird one, to be honest. I've never seen this happen before. I mean, as you guys know, I used to work at BMW, and this isn't a problem that I've come across in the car world as yet, but there's a first for everything, and hopefully the problem is going to be fixed today. So the parts that I'm talking of set me back a whole £36 with free delivery on Amazon Prime, not an ad. Let's see if anyone can guess what they are. Anyone who's into cars will know exactly what these are. Well, not into cars, into repairing cars. I feel like being into cars and being on the mechanic-y side of things is very, very different. And until I got this car, I didn't touch anything mechanically. I mean, I still can't really say I have that much, but I'm getting there. I think being into cars and being into the mechanics of a car are two very different things that do overlap for a lot of people, but you can definitely be into cars without being into the technical side of things, but it does help when you know what's going on a bit more. So this lovely piece of kit is what we're going to fix today. We're going to replace the intercooler. They're like the boost pipes, I think the term is. I'm not sure why this one's got a bit of fabric over it, but I'm sure it'll all make sense when we get underneath the bonnet in a second. And it's a really easy fix. It's literally just these have got a name and I can't think of what that name is, but whatever these are on each end. So let me take you back to the day before yesterday, when it all went a bit wrong. Okay, we are in the car, we are ready to go. So let me tell you quickly the story of what happened, and I won't make it too long, but basically we'd gone for a nice walk, we'd taken the Range Rover, we were driving through muddy puddles, and George managed to get the Range Rover sideways at one point, which I didn't think was possible. We were literally sort of going sideways through a patch of mud, which was great with our 1-year-old in the back. Good job, George. And having loads of fun, went for a nice walk, drove back from the muddy trail back onto the main road. And it's a very, very fast moving road. And the road that we were pulling out from, it's not a slip road. It's just like you have to just go for it. It's a little bit uphill as well, which probably didn't help. And basically George was driving. I blame George for this one. And he basically floored it because a lorry let him go, but the lorry wasn't particularly slowing down, so he still had to go pretty quick. Completely floored it, straight up to 70. And as soon as we hit 70, the car started to quickly slow down, and there was a loss of power basically. And we were trying to get up this hill to get to a safe spot to pull over. We had the hazards on. Our friends later told us that when we floored it, there was a big cloud of black smoke out the back, and we smelt rather eggy as we were driving in front of them. I'm going to start the car now and see actually if the error message is still there, so let's see. Coolant level low, classic. Washer fluid, any more? There you go, restricted performance. So that's exactly what came up, and the car basically went into limp mode. So we were just trying to put our foot down, nothing was happening, and slowly we got up this hill. We managed to pull into a pub car park. Luckily, we were literally round the corner from, so we didn't have to stop on any dangerous roads or anything. Pulled the bonnet up. You won't believe this, the friend that we were with actually works for the AA, which is incredibly handy. They were feeding their baby, because they've got 2 babies as well. And luckily the baby was hungry, because in that time he was like, I'm just going to have another little look under the bonnet. And in that time he by chance found the exact problem, and it allowed us to order the parts, and we're good. So I'm going to show you in a second exactly what happened. So at first he thought it was over-fueling. The fuel to air ratio in the engine was off, and that's what was causing the problem. And he was kind of right, but instead of the wrong amount of fuel, it was actually the wrong amount of air. And this is why. George, if you come around this side, you'll get a good angle of it. So the boost pipe just here, I'll show you on this one first. They've got these little, whatever they're called. What are they called, George? I was just saying clips. I think this has got a better word than a clip. These clips, fairly spiky clips, and you can see the screw part of it is around this side. This one, however, if you come closely, get a nice zoom in on that, if we pull it out, it's basically split itself from rubbing up against it, and as the air goes through this pipe, it expands, and it's just been pushing into it. So when George floored it, it went very big, it really expanded out and basically stabbed itself, and I think it's been like that for a while, because we've been saying for a while it's got like an eggy smell. And I think that one big push when we really floored it on that road, that one big push I think is what made it rip a lot more, and then obviously signalled the cut to the car, and that's why we were unplugging the electronic part here. But basically we need to replace this one. He said this one's looking a little bit worse for wear, so we're going to do both at the same time, and it was a 2-pack on Amazon, so we went for that. And then once we've redone it, we can plug this back in and hopefully all will be well. But I think he might have to pop round with his computer, and we may need to clear some error codes as well at some point. But today we can definitely do the main part. Obviously we haven't been able to drive it for a couple of days, so at least if we get this all fixed, we can get back behind the wheel of it a bit. But yeah, that's basically the plan for today. Hopefully it's fairly straightforward. I think it is. I need to actually grab a quick screwdriver because this is a flat head, got one upstairs, so I'll quickly go and grab that and then we can start. So this is the part that he disconnected, basically to try and get it out of limp mode, which it did, and the plan was to drive home with it unplugged just to get home, and then we were going to see what the problem was. But we've kept it disconnected because this isn't fixed yet, basically, if that makes sense. Again, I'm not 100% sure on the technicalities of this. I'm learning as I go. I'm trying my best, so excuse any errors I've made in that explanation. And we're also going to have to figure out a way to move this old clip, or the same thing's just going to happen again, because it's just another one of these. And it's the same material, it's just gonna rub against it. But already you can see the size difference, like that's so much thinner, that's just been pushed out and it's much softer, and this is a lot more rigid. So yeah. I thought that was like a thing around it, but it's just where it's been there for so long. That's the original, which looks a lot more like the new part, and it's not been bent. And this is a squidgy bit, so I think that's all good. I think that's off. Right, next. So this one actually had a little clip that hooked it and to keep it in place, but the other ones didn't, so I don't know why. Maybe there have been changed one, or maybe that one's more prone to slipping around, I don't know, but that's definitely, that one's different to the other two, I don't know why. Let's see if this one's got it as well. This one's a bit more fiddly to get to because we've got pipes and God knows what in the way of it. This one's got the clip as well, so it's way more fiddly trying to get it off because you've got to get underneath something that's been attached to something else for potentially, how old is this car? Is it 13 years old? 13 years. Right, hands are black, clips are off. Now we need to try and wiggle this off, move this clip round, replace them, put the clips back on, and then hope for the best. Let's see how easily this is going to come off. I don't think it's going to come off well at all, because yeah, that's going to be really tricky. Oh yeah, this thing's a bit of a welly, and actually it being split's helping me slightly because it's there's a bit more movement in it. Marvellous, there you go. Perfect.
We're going to give it a kiss then.
Why would I do that? Why is that what came to your mind? Anyone else? Did anyone else think that? Probably not. Comment below if it's anyone that's strange like George. Right, I think we should be able to squeeze this. So I'm trying to basically squeeze this to be able to move it round to the other side. So I mean, it looks like it could do with replacing as well, but I think it's okay. So I'm trying to squeeze it to move it round so it can not rub against the new one, because it's a big old split that, like, you can really see it now. It's a good sort of 1.5 inches worth. How are you meant to squeeze it? I get it, like it's like that, but this is like welded in. It's like there's literal rust here. And I don't want to split it with the screwdriver. It's so annoying because the other one there is tucked underneath. All right, it's now the next day. If only I could get some help, because yesterday we were struggling to do this, and I thought to myself, if only we knew someone that might be able to help and be a bit more hands-on with this, because clearly we cannot get this clip to come off. And I just thought, do I know anyone? Is there anyone that's coming to mind? This is Callum, everyone. Everyone meet Callum.
Hello.
Who's the guy we were actually talking about earlier in this video, who was here when this happened, or at least when George broke the car, as we've mentioned
When
earlier.
George broke that, I watched him do that.
Yeah, this is my eyewitness.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
And hopefully he's got some tools in his van and some
Maybe.
more experience to actually get this fixed for us, because we struggled yesterday.
These are, I don't think these are big enough.
Tiny bit too far apart.
It might
isn't it?
be. It might be. Oh yes, there we go. Look at that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, they're very tight.
Hey.
Oh, what? Did
There
you
we
not
go.
see us? You should have seen us. We're out here in the rain with a screwdriver each going, shaking, covered in black.
Very tight.
Wow, perfect.
Hey.
That's a much better position, and now it's not going to
Excellent.
hurt this one, so that's
Exactly.
good.
This is the proper tool to do it with, but I don't trust it as much.
Okay.
So
Oh,
Manual
right.
way's better.
I prefer,
Yeah.
you know, big metal things
Yeah.
rather than
Sounds
a little
good.
wire and
Yeah.
stuff. So
What would that
anyway.
have done?
This is actually a really good tool for the same clips, but really far down in like the engine bay. And if you can
So you can't get to
can
it.
see-
It's easier for you.
it's got all sorts of little bits and bolts. Teeth in it. So it doesn't work that well,
Yeah.
but you can see it does open up.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
You know,
Oh, amazing. And then you
does
can just
that.
control it from further away.
Yeah, and it stays. It's
Yeah.
got a little ratchet, so it stays. Yeah, but
That's cool. But yeah, we
if
don't
it's
need
accessible, we'll use these.
that. Perfect.
I like them a lot better.
Very nice.
Might get some bigger ones actually.
Yeah, you
for-
should, just in case. We only just
Yeah.
made it there, so
I
that's
know.
lucky. Thank you for that. Callum's also got a channel. What's your channel name, Callum? Shout
Autumn
out.
cars.
Autumn Cars. We'll leave it linked below so you can check it out. What are you doing on it at the moment?
Oh, we're doing up a Land Rover Defender at the moment, so doing a
Very
full
cool.
overland build, sort of family car, sort of overlanding.
Yeah.
And it'd be amazing once it's done.
Yeah, it's looking good so far.
Bit of a project.
Before and afters are good so far, so
Definitely, yes. Yeah.
check it out, guys. So we've got evidence that I did try and do this myself. Like, you guys saw that, right? This was meant to be a DIY, and I did really try my best.
They are very
You've
tight.
got to use the tools
Yes.
around you. I'm not calling you a tool, by the way.
yeah. The right tools always make a difference. I don't want to put it all the way on without the
Yeah.
clip. Actually, it might be worth just putting
Put the clip over it
one
so that you're
clip on
good.
at
Yeah.
least. A good trick for this. Let me grab some brake cleaner. Hold on.
Ah.
That's the best trick for this.
We could just edit this and cut Callum out, and you just looks like you've done
Just
it.
film his hands. Maybe we have
Yeah,
similar hands.
yeah.
How big are your hands? You're wearing gloves, so no one's going to know. I could look like it's me doing it. So if you just film from above, don't get the high vis in, and then no one's ever going to know.
Big
Just pull this
forearms.
down so there's no like hairy arms.
So if we can get this
Ah.
right, try and get this in there somehow. Where's it?
Just help get it on easier, does it?
Yeah, it slips straight on with
Cool.
a bit of brake cleaner, and
Amazing.
brake cleaner evaporates really quickly.
Cool.
So say that. Not gonna work this time, is it?
Brilliant. Love the positivity.
There you go, straight on.
Nice.
So I love it. And
Smells
then
quite
this-
nice as well.
Yeah.
Start inhaling it. It's probably not very
In
good.
too
is it?
much.
I just saved the
Get rid
day.
of paper.
This doesn't fit round the fat end.
The new
This-
clip.
The new clip. This is a new clip, the shiny new clip. And I think we're feeling the non-genuine part here because it's super flimsy.
Yeah,
This one is the old one that we've saved. It's a bit wonky, but it'll hopefully fit round it better.
should do.
Yeah, they're very different. I mean, they don't look that different. One looks old, one looks new. But if you could feel this like I'm feeling it, you'd feel it. I was saying that both on the left side had these little teeth on it, these little clips, but for some reason the right didn't, and apparently it's under the same amount of pressure, so I don't know why that's the case, but
Maybe the clips have been changed before.
Yeah.
Pipe's been off and they've broken them or whatever.
yeah, or just did one side, but they felt like the same amount of wear, but who knows? We'll never know or need to know, so
Yeah. Just making sure it's all straight, all uniform.
nice one.
Pipes on all the way.
Cool, I think we're good. They've not said it's not working. The pipe is still, I didn't have the right tools, and it was so handy having Callum here because he definitely did that for me in the end. But I did try and I did help a little bit, but that's great. That was such a good fix. £35 instead of the genuine parts that are going to be about 150. So, I mean, I don't mind having to replace them 2 or 3 times in that period, but I might not have to at all. So I'd rather take the risk in this one. I just feel like it's not a part particularly that I could justify spending like 5 times the amount on. equally we did use the old clips, and we have ditched these cheap clips just here because the old ones are way better quality. So we've managed to sort of have half and half, save a little bit of the old one, which is good, and the fault codes are all cleared now. We've plugged it back in, and I think hopefully we can drive her again and there'll be no more faults for a little bit longer. What a result. That was great. That only took about 10-15 more minutes as well, so not too long. And Callum actually used some of his brake to come and do that, actually all of his brake I think, which is super kind. So make sure you go and check out his channel. I'll leave it linked below, and I'm going to end this video off here. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you very soon in the next video. Goodbye.